In this video, I will show you how to build and configure menus and submenus within the homepage builder. So taking a simple example, we will look to build 3 main menu items, one for an actuals consolidation workflow, one that's going to go to some planning workflows, one for budget, one for forecast, and then the final menu item will be a link to an executive dashboard. Let's get going. We will first make sure we go to the settings area of the homepage builder, and you need to be on the global section. And we will first use this section here where the main navigation bar will now start adding a row for our first menu item. So the first menu item we're going to do is our actuals consolidation. So we need to give it a menu ID. So this is a unique identifier for the menu. It can be whatever you want it to be called. It's not going to be seen anywhere apart from in the administration area. So I will call this one console. And we then need to give the menu a label. So this is what you will see on the main screen. So we'll call this one consolidation. And then the description, this is just something just to describe what this menu is about, and it also shows up when you hover over a menu item. It will show up as a tooltip. So I'm just going to put actuals consolidation on this one. The enable submenu item, we will leave that unchecked. We will use that in our next menu item when we do the planning step. So the menu type, you can either have a workflow type menu or a dashboard type menu. So we're looking to link through to a workflow, so we will leave that as workflow. And then by doing so, the next 3 options are all applicable. So the first thing we need to do is set a cube that the workflow is going to, and then we need to set a scenario where we're going to link to. So we'll use an actual scenario. And then the third and final option for workflow type menus is to show the workflow task list. So what this does is, as well as it linking through to a workflow, it will also, within the homepage builder screen, you can see all of the individual tasks which sit below a workflow, and you can see their statuses, and you can actually link directly through to a specific task as well. So we'll show that in action after we have configured this menu. And then we can leave the next 2, the one for dashboard and open dashboard in, because they are only relatable to the dashboard type menu item. And then we get across here and we have the option to set an icon. So there is a list of pre-installed icons that come with a homepage builder. And in this list here is all of these ones that start with icon underscore of all the ones that have been pre-built. You can add your own custom icons in should you wish. That will be covered in a separate video. So I'm going to add an icon for icon consolidation. And then the last setting here is the security group. So it is possible, if you want to, you can assign security groups to your menu items, and then by doing so you can restrict who sees which menu items. We will leave this one set to everyone, but you can, if you want to, add different security groups there. That is our first menu item created. We'll now move on to our second menu item, which is to do with planning. So we're going to create a planning type workflow. We'll give it a description. So this one is going to have a submenu, so it's going to have a budget and forecast submenu within it. So for this one here, we'll give it a description, budget and forecast, and we will enable the submenu on this one. Because we've enabled the submenu, now the type and the settings that go with the workflow, the menu types, do not come into play. So we can actually skip those, and we just need to go down and set an icon and a security group. So we'll set an icon on this one to be the icon target, and we'll save that. And now, because this is a submenu, what we want to do is we now want to build out the submenu items that go below it as well. So we'll go down into this second table now. Because we've got the plan row selected, you'll see it says configure submenu for plan. So we can now build additional menu items that hang off of the plan menu. So we'll add 2 rows here. We'll create one for budget, and again we'll set the workflow types on these, and we'll give that one a budget working. We will not set the workflow task list to apply on these ones, and then we'll do the same for forecast. we'll pick one of our forecast scenarios, and again we'll keep that unchecked, and then we hit save there. We've now created our submenus that are going to sit below our main plan menu. Now the last menu item we wanted to create was for executive dashboard. And for this one, the difference with what we're going to do here, rather than using the workflow type, we're going to change it to the dashboard type menu item. And because we've got that set now, we move straight across to our two dashboard related settings for this. So the first one we need to do is we need to assign it which workflow, which dashboard it's going to link through to. So we're going to do 0_one place exec dashboard. There we go. And then the second option we've got here is how do you want that dashboard to open when you click on the menu item. So you've got three options. You can open it in a brand new window. You can open it in the same window. So what that means, that will actually embed it within inside of the homepage builder screen. Or the final one is a dialog. The dialog meaning it's actually going to pop up as a window that sits over the top of the executive dashboard, over the top of the homepage builder. So we'll select dialog for this one. And then lastly, we will give it an icon for dashboards. So that is it. That's the configuration complete. So very quickly, we've created our menus and submenus, and now we can go back to the homepage builder main screen and see those in action. So if we go back to our homepage, and you'll now see we've now got our three menu items sitting here. So the first one we're going to look at is the consolidation. And when you click on that, that was a link through to an actual workflow. And so after selecting it, what you'll see is options here around selecting your workflow. So on the left hand side here, we've got these options here. So this drop down here will provide you a list of all workflows that you have access to for that particular cube and scenario combination. So as you can see, there's multiple ones here. So we'll just pick this one here, UK Entity 1. And then to the right hand side, this is where you see the workflow task list. So that was that option that we enabled in the previous step. So for this UK Entity 1, these are all of the steps that sit within that particular workflow profile. And you can see the status of all of those, what the assigned entities are, and you can click on any one of these steps and it will take you directly to that particular workflow task. So that's the consolidation step. We'll now look at the planning one. So the planning one had some sub-menu items on it. So by clicking on the planning one, you will now see we've got our budget and our forecast options that we set up. When you click on those, you will then get the options available for selecting the workflow that relates to that particular scenario and that particular cube combination. So we can do the same for budget. And you also notice that there was a period option that has disappeared. So it also works out your workflow tracking frequency and will only show options to be able to change that should you have the relevant tracking frequency on your workflow profiles. Now these two settings here, we disabled the show workflow task list, so you don't see anything to the right hand side here. So what that means is that when you select one of these workflow profiles, you have to click the go button, and that will then take you directly to the main workflow profile rather than jumping to individual tasks. Now lastly, we've got the executive dashboard link. So this is this one here, and if we click on this one, the difference with this one being is that this was going to a dashboard, and it's going to open up a dialog box over the top of the homepage builder. So by doing that, we've now launched a different screen, and we now have an executive dashboard which we can view on top of our homepage builder. If I close that, that just takes us back to our homepage builder. The final setting that we did not cover was around the sort order. So you may have noticed that the consolidation, executive dashboard and planning was not the order in which we created it in the settings area. So we can adjust that. So if we go back to our settings area now and we look at these here, we've got this sort order which we didn't touch. So by what you can do is just by putting numerical numbers in there, we can change the ordering. So we can leave consolidation there, and then let's put planning as 10 and executive dashboard as 20. And And when we save it, you'll notice it will automatically reorder it in this screen here. And now if I move back to the home page, we now have reordered our menu as well. That's the end of this video. We will cover configuring the tools in the next video.